Hey guys, welcome back to The Difference. Pete Hegseth is under fire right now. Senators are clashing over Donald Trump's Secretary of Defense pick. Check it out.
Pete Hegseth battling for the job of Trump's defense secretary as he declares war on woke policies. He's the first cabinet member of the incoming administration to face the firing squad of Congress, which is kicking off a week-long blitz of confirmation hearings for various positions. Things getting a little chaotic at the start after left-wing protesters crashed the hearing with one guy getting dragged out while kicking and screaming.
Wow.
Hegseth then outlining his mission to restore the, quote, warrior ethos if confirmed to the top military role.
I'm going to work with President Trump and this committee to, one, restore the warrior ethos to the Pentagon and throughout our fighting force. What gender you are, what race you are, your views on climate change, or whether you are a person of conscience and your faith should have no bearing on whether you get promoted. The only thing that should matter is how capable are you at your job? How excellent are you at your job? That it's time to give someone with dust on his boots the helm. A change agent, someone with no vested interest in certain companies or specific programs or approved narratives. My only special interest is the warfighter.
Hegseth facing off with Democrat senators at his confirmation hearing who question his personal life and qualifications.
Did you ever engage in any acts of physical violence against any of your wives?
Senator, absolutely not.
But you would agree with me that if someone had committed physical violence against a spouse, that would be disqualifying to serve as Secretary of Defense, correct?
Senator, absolutely not have I ever done that.
You're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. But you're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
Yes or no? Did you lead an audit? Yes or no?
What
are you afraid of? You can't answer this question. Yes or no? Did you lead an audit? Do you not know this answer?
Senator, every part of my leadership of these organizations has been misrepresented.
I will take that as a no.
But Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin taking issue with the personal attacks on Hegseth by holding up a mirror to other members of Congress.
How many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night? Have any of you guys asked them to step down and resign from their job? And don't tell me you haven't seen it, because I know you have. And then how many senators do you know have got a divorce before cheating on their wives? Did you ask them to step down? No. But it's for show. It is so ridiculous that you guys hold yourself as this higher standard and you forget you got a big plank in your eye. We've all made mistakes.
All right, we'll take it around the table. Greg, let's start with you.
I like that guy.
Markwayne.
I like him a lot. What's wrong with Tim's? Tim Kaine looked like Tim Waltz after going through a car wash. They both look terrible. I feel really bad for the female senators there because it's hard to concentrate when the nominee is so good looking. And, you know, ladies, relax. There's enough Pete for everybody. They're all trying to impress him, and it just wasn't working. You know, when you watched it, did you feel like you were watching a pro baseball player in a batting cage? You know, he was calm, self-assured, hitting each pitch seamlessly. Maybe it's a combination of the combat experience and TV skills. Yeah. But if I kept sitting there going, I wonder how I would do there. How would I do? How did he refrain from not calling Liz Warren Pocahontas? That is skill. It is amazing that if you remove the phrase, so you're saying, or it sounds like, there would be no questions. So every time Hegseth would answer something, they would go, oh, so you're saying you're pro-rape. Oh, that sounds like you hate women. It just shows you how little the idiots care about what he says and more about framing their own brain farts dishonestly. Basically, you know, Pete's the middle finger in camouflage, aimed directly at that managerial class that we call politicians. He's the representation of the real world, what soldiering, what the warfighter looks like. Compare that to the Biden vision. Rachel Levine, Sam Brinton, that wasn't the real world. That was the comical face of public virtue that exploited unsound minds to gain empathy points from activists. It was so far from reality that it was funny. Here, he's the public face of the warfighter, not the public face of identity.
Okay, real quick, guys. I do want to weigh in real quick and say that it is super important that there's thorough vetting for the Secretary of Defense role. Okay, I get it. I understand. Also want to say thanks for watching so far. Be sure to leave a like, guys. You don't want to miss the rest of this clip, guys, because some super interesting points are made here on Fox News' The Five that I want to show y'all. But there's a lot of concerns about Hegseth's decisions aligning with U.S. security needs. And that's really what it has to boil down to is, forget all the red herrings. Is Hegseth going to make the right decisions for the security needs for the United States? And of course, we have to ensure accountability and leadership and military oversight. So this is par for the course that he's going to have to go through this. But what I'm seeing is as I'm watching these different clips, I'm seeing a guy that can hold his own in a room full of people that their mission is to take him down, right? Because they don't agree with his decisions. They don't agree with what he wants to do with the military. They don't agree with Donald Trump. They don't agree with conservatism. That's what it really boils down to. Okay, again, guys, be sure to leave a like. I really do appreciate all the support and all the love that y'all are showing for the channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you're just joining us, guys. New videos every day on what's going on in the world. So be sure you subscribe. Okay, guys, you don't want to miss the rest of this video. It's crazy. Check it out.
I wanted to play one more thing based on that, which is a question that Rick Scott asked him, because sometimes, like, the Republicans asked him pretty friendly question, teeing up a good ball for him to hit. Here's Rick Scott asking him, why does he even want the job?
Why do you want to do this job? What drives you?
Because I love my country, Senator, and I've dedicated my life to the warfighters. People see me as someone who hosts a morning show on television. But people that really know me know where my heart's at. It's with the guys in this audience who've had my back, and I've had theirs.
Judge Janine, reaction on that or anything else from the hearing?
I'm so proud of him. I really am. Look, he's going to bring the warrior culture back. And he sat there and knowing that there were a lot of things that they were going to come at him with. And he was cool, calm, steady, and prepared. And he was willing to admit what a lot of Democrats who want to take the moral high ground cannot admit. And that is, I've made mistakes. And I've made amends to my God and to my wife. And I'm good. And I'm better for it. You know, and for the Democrats to come out at him and and take this moral high ground that how dare you come before us when you may have done X, Y, or Z. And I love that he comes from the military mindset. I love that he loves the warriors as much as he does. And he is a guy who is not beholden to any of the defense contractors or any of the big companies. He's not a part of that. This is a kid who believes in America. He believes in the fact that we need the strongest, most lethal fighting force of men and women to the extent that they are in a position to be able to fight as well. And he's all American. And I'm so proud of him. I mean, I was almost moved to tears. And I love that he hates DEI. It has no place in the military.
Yep.
When you're in a foxhole, you've got to be with people who can protect you and you can protect them, and that you come out of it recognizing that you owe your lives to each other.
Let's listen to him just a little bit more. This is the last one I'm going to play. This is him talking about women serving in the military.
I have never disparaged women serving in the military. I respect every single female service member that has put on the uniform, past and present. My critiques, Senator, recently and in the past, and from personal experience, have been instances where I've seen standards lowered, and you mentioned 11 Alpha, 11 Bravo, MOS, places in units, and the book that has been referenced multiple times here, The War on Warriors. I spent months talking to active duty service members, men and women, low ranks, high ranks, combat arms and not combat arms. And what each and every one of them told me, and which personal instances have shown me, is that in ways direct, indirect, overt, and subtle, standards have been changed.
Jessica, I don't expect that the Democrats are going to vote for him, but did he answer the mail there and all the questions that they were putting towards him?
I don't think for everyone, but he didn't need the numbers, and he made that clear. And I thought that one of the strongest points that the Democrats made, several of them, Senators Reid, Senator Sheehan, and Gary Peters made, is that Pete didn't meet with any of the Democrats, that they reached out to talk to him and his team, and that he didn't take any of those meetings. And they all emphasized the fact that they have been on this committee for a long time and have voted for past nominees from the opposing party. This isn't typically a partisan one as far as confirmations go. And I thought that that was, it surprised me about Pete, someone that I know personally and who always engages with me across the aisle in conversations and opens them up to that kind of discourse. And I thought that that was a really big missed opportunity, especially in context of the turn that you've clearly seen from Joni Ernst. So Joni Ernst, who was very public about her concerns about Pete's nomination, someone who has served the country, someone who has been sexually assaulted in the military, she made no bones about talking about that in very public forums, and she continued to take meetings with him. And she was who I was really watching today, because I said, if Joni Ernst has turned and she is now in the pro-Pete camp, I imagine this is going to be a very easy confirmation process for him. And it was clear that she has changed her views on him from the several meetings that he did with her, and he put in the work for that. So I thought he should have met with the Democrats. In terms of the women in combat roles, you know, Elizabeth Warren was quoting Pete back to him over the last 12 years. She said as recently as 32 days ago, you had a different position on this. And I think that when you are looking Tammy Duckworth in the eye, when you're looking at Alyssa Slotkin, when you were looking at Joni Ernst, women who served honorably, Tammy Duckworth losing both of her legs, and you have been making that kind of argument, you better have a good reason to back it up and not just, oh, I'm up for this position now and I've decided to change my view on it. I thought one of the more poignant moments was Tammy Duckworth pointing to the soldier's creed, which is, you know, what they live by, why they sign up and what they go into battle with every day, how they feel about the country to protect and serve. And that's sounded exactly like how Pete talks about his country. And I couldn't really make sense of why he would be parroting the point about that there are these quotas, the commanders have to have female quotas, which Gillibrand knocked back at him and said that's absolutely not true. Or to say that, you know, this is all about the wokeification, and we heard DEI over and over and over.
Okay, wait a minute. Guys, this is what's so frustrating about this, because, and this gets me fired up, because there is no room whatsoever for weakness in the military. Absolutely none. Like, if you can't get behind that, you are lost. You have no say in this conversation, because what we need more than anything in the military is we need strength. That's the definition of a military. The military that wins is the military that is strong. And what we need is we need a strong military. We need a well-funded military. The fact that the Democrats want to keep cutting funds from our military, and they want to be sending weapons, and they want to be sending the money over to other countries and other militaries, it's absolutely insane and ridiculous. We've got to commit, guys, to conservative defense principles. I mean, and just what Judge Janine was talking about, resisting the influence of woke policies in the armed forces. Guys, we cannot be having DEI programs in the military. Woke policies in our armed forces is an embarrassment on the world stage. It's absolutely crazy. What we do have to do, and I'll agree with them on this, is we do have to uphold constitutional freedoms for our service members. Okay? There should be freedom and equity across the board. But when it comes to, if you're going to serve in our military, and if you're going to fill these positions that literally our country depends on for defense, you have to meet the threshold. Regardless of age, regardless of gender, regardless of any of this, right? Nothing matters except, can you perform at the level that is required for the job? If you're not able to perform, whether you're a man or woman, then you should not be in that position, because we have to have strength. We have to have a well-funded military. We cannot have woke policies. We cannot have this DEI, guys. Let me know down in the chat, because you want to see the rest of this, guys. Very interesting conversation. But take a second and in the comment section below, let me know, do you think that Pete Hegseth is the right choice for defense secretary? Yes, no, maybe you're not sure yet. Let me know down in the chat, guys, or down in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, guys. Okay, again, you don't want to miss this. Check it out.
Again, from the Republicans on the panel, I didn't see any evidence of that when you look at someone like a Tammy Duckworth, who's talking about what everyone who serves feels about this country, and that women who are not meeting a lower standard, but can lift the weights, can do the run, are going out there and doing for our country.
Jesse, if you met with Democrats, they would all love you.
It's called a charm offensive.
Yeah.
And I would be laying it on thick.
Without the charm.
Pete was probably trying to shore up the votes on the Republican side, maybe didn't have time for the Democrats. And to answer Greg's question, no, Greg, you are not confirmable at all. Trump could not have had a better leadoff hitter for these cabinet confirmations. Yeah. This guy hit a walk-off home run. And he was eloquent, he was passionate, and the youth factor was huge. Because if you see that guy, that's spirited, framed up against these disheveled old guys that really are just, looks like they needed a cup of coffee just to even walk in there that late in the morning. This is what this generation is there for. To take the reins of this old generation who's really run this Pentagon into the ground. They can't pass an audit, 20 years in Afghanistan, the Army can't recruit, the Navy can't build ships. The Democrats were stuck defending the status quo today. And you need a guy who's not status quo, who's outside the box to come in and change things. Because they voted to confirm all of the guys at the Pentagon who were obviously not qualified for the job. And then they're getting lectured on character by guys that lied about serving in Vietnam to get elected or lied about their race to get a job. Give me a break. Pete never drank on the job. There's no evidence of that. Congress just opened up their own cantina. They have now pages delivering beer, liquor, and wine to the offices of the politicians. Pete settled a lawsuit falsely accusing him of sexual harassment. Congress has a secret slush fund to settle sexual harassment allegations against them. And you're not even allowed to look at it. And they're saying that Pete is injecting politics. Democrats injected politics into the Pentagon. They're the ones that introduced race and gender. They're the ones that had drag queen story hour at military bases. Pete's trying to bring it out of there. Greg made an analogy. I like to see your analogy and raise you one.
Oh, I love that.
Pete is like hydrogen peroxide. The Democrats have shot themselves in the foot. The Pentagon is an open wound. You need someone like Pete to treat the wound. Stings a little bit. Sounds a little harsh sometimes. Ow, ow, ow. But you know what? It's cleansing, and it's their fault. You need someone like Pete to bring it home. I'm with Judge. I am so proud of Pete. I basically taught him everything he does.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. That's the same for all of us.
Same for all of us.
Honestly,
we made Pete what he is today.
What would we do without
You're welcome, America.
You're welcome, America, indeed.
Okay, there you go, guys. There's the latest update on what's going on with Pete Hegseth. You know, obviously opposition to Hegseth is going to happen, but it does highlight the political divide again, even on defense priorities. When it comes down to it, Democrats' resistance is a sign of really differing views on military reform, if we come down to it. The impact of this confirmation is going to affect two things. First of all, it's going to affect defense budgets. Okay, again, one of the big differences between the Republicans and the Democrats is the Republicans want to increase defense spending. Democrats want to reduce it. I don't understand it. I don't know why, but we want to take all the money from our own defense and we want to send it overseas to other countries to help them fight their wars. Doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so number one, defense budgets. Number two, global strategy. All right, and how in the targets that we're acquiring, in the places that we're setting up, in our overall global strategy, there's huge differences in the way the differences of opinions. In that Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, they want to come across as a superpower. That's what America is. We're a superpower, and we're gonna fill those boots, and we're gonna make strategic moves that keep us ahead of the competition. The Democrats, they just want to blend in with everyone else. They just want to be one of the countries, like, no, this is America. Come on, it's time for some more America first policies, guys. And that is the huge difference between Democrats and Republicans. Is Republicans, they just want to put people first. They want to put American first. They want to put our country first. We're paying our taxes for our country, not for other countries. Right? That's the big difference. That's the big thing. And that's the broader political implication for this hearing. Guys, don't forget to leave a like. I appreciate all the support again on the channel. If you've made it all the way to this part of the video, you are a legend. Hit that like button. Subscribe for more videos like this. Again, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow with another video. Or maybe you've missed some videos. Go check out the channel, guys. Catch up on all the news that's happening today. Of course, Pete Hegseth was the big story today, but who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Come back. Check in. We'll be talking about it. All right, guys. Y'all take it easy. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow.